What's up everybody, welcome back. So we're going to continue to experiment with more Gen 6 Spice in the Remix Cup, and I actually tried out Greninja in my previous video, and if you haven't checked it out, please do because that was absolutely insane. But for this video, I'm going to be trying out a really interesting Double Kalos Charmers team comp, basically consisting of Slurpuff and Aromatisse. Now, I really wanted to put these two Pokemon to the test because they really have a very diverse moveset. Obviously, you have Thunderbolt on Aromatisse, and you also have Flamethrower and Energy Ball on Slurpuff. And I'm going to be using Jellicent as the lead for this team comp, basically to provide coverage against some of those Steel types, Fire types, and Poison types, which obviously the Charmers would struggle against. And you have Aromatisse and Slurpuff, which cover up for some of those Dark types like Sableye and Obstagoon, which Jellicent would struggle against, right? So overall, this team comp worked really well for me. So let's just get straight into these battles. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. This is obviously an ABB line where I'm going to be using Jellicent as the lead with Aromatisse as the safe swap and Slurpuff in the back. So we have Jellicent into a Unova Stunfisk here. This is actually not a great matchup obviously because Stunfisk has access to Discharge, which is going to be super effective because of the water typing. But I'm actually going to soak one of this up because we can survive a Discharge here. It does quite a bit of super effective damage actually. And then I'm going to overfarm a little bit, and they were actually trying to catch an Ice Beam on Frosslass, which is really smart on their part. But I'm actually going to go straight for the Shadow Ball right now, and it does get the shield. So I'm really hoping I can get to one of the Shadow Ball before they can get to another move. But they're able to get to a charge move in time, so I'm definitely going to shield this. It's probably going to be a Shadow Ball as well, as it is there. And then I'm just going to go for overfarm a bit and then go for the Shadow Ball right now, right? And this is either going to get the second shield or take out the Frosslass. And it does take out the Frosslass as they let that go through, and they come in with their Obstagoon right now. So immediately going to switch into my Aromatisse. The reason I did this is because our switch timers are off sync, and their switch time is still not back up, right? Because they switched out of their lead there. So again, Aromatisse absolutely chunking away at the Obstagoon right now, and charge move is going to come through. It's just going to be a Night Slash. Even if it's cross chop, it's resisted as it is there, and then I'm going to be able to completely charm down. And then yeah, they're going to come back with their Unova Stunfisk, and I'm going to try and get to a Moonblast here. Unfortunately, I think they get to a move first, but it's absolutely fine. If it's a Mud Bomb, we can survive it, and it ends up being a Mud Bomb which we barely survive. And I'm just going to go straight for the Moonblast right now. It's going to do massive neutral damage if it goes unshielded, as it does there, which is really, really good, right? So all I have to do right now is basically come in with my Slurpuff and completely charm down the Stunfisk there. I don't really have to shield any of this. I mean, even if it's just Discharge, this isn't really going to do that much, and we're going to be able to charm down there. I think both Slurpuff and Aromatisse have a decent level of tankiness. I mean, they're not glass cannons by any stretch of imagination. They can definitely tank some charge moves there, right? But then again, Obstagoon pretty much has no play, especially in the back of my opponent's team comps there. So anyways, moving on to the second battle here, we have Jellicent against a Jellicent. So it's actually a mirror match, and I'm actually going to stay in for a bit. I'm not sure who wins CMP tie at this point, so I'm actually going to try and catch a move on Aromatisse here, which is probably going to be a Shadow Ball right now. It's going to do quite a bit of neutral damage actually. It does about 50% of Aromatisse's health, a little lower. They actually come in with Hypno right now, which is not great. Because again, those confusions are doing so much damage, and we're not able to get to a charge move as well. But then again, Charm did so much damage to Hypno as well, right? So I'm going to wait out the switch clock here and then come in with my Jellicent and go straight for the Shadow Ball. I either want to get their shield or take out the Hypno here because I know they have a lot of loaded energy right now, right? They actually let that go through, which is very surprising. And again, they come in with their Obstagoon. And again, Obstagoon is really, really common in a lot of team comps because it does really well. It really breaks apart the Registeel, Diggersby core, and also does really well against Jellicent as well, right? But then again, when you have two Charmers in the back, you don't really have to worry about Obstagoon at all. So I'm gonna let it go. It's not gonna be a gunk shot, and I'm gonna be able to completely charm down. They actually come back with their Jellicent, which is fine, and all I have to do is basically shield up my Slurpuff, and then yeah, just basically charm it down, right? I'm not going to throw any charge moves right now because there's no real point of going for any of these charge moves. I'm going to completely charm it down here, and then yeah, Obstagoon is no play in the back, right? They're going to have to land two Night Slashes right now, but we still have a shield, and they decide to give up the match there. And that's, double Charmers in the back can catch a lot of people off guard, and it doesn't matter how many shields they have because you can just fast move farm them down, right? And like I said, Obstagoon is so common. It's such an absolute anti-meta Pokemon, and obviously having double Charmers, there's nothing better than having double Charmers in the back there. So anyways, we have Jellicent into a Venomoth here. So at this point, I'm actually forced to stay in because I don't really have a solid response to Venomoth in the back. And they make a switch to Charizard, and again, I have to stay in, right? Because Jellicent is pretty much my only response to a Charizard as well. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here. They let that go through, which is really surprising. I don't know if they thought it was a Bubble Beam, Shield Bait or something. But I'm gonna shield this up because I need to preserve my Jellicent for their Venomoth as well. Because both the Charmers would struggle against it because of that poison typing on Venomoth, right? So I'm going to completely farm it down here. here. And then we have a lot of loaded energy right now. And they come in with their Sableye, immediately going to switch into my Aromatisse here. And once again, they're actually switch locked in this matchup. So I'm going to try and farm it down as much as possible. And this is where I make a bit of a mistake. I know this is going to be a return, but I'm still going to let it go through. And that nearly one-shots my Aromatisse, right? Probably should have shielded that, but I definitely wanted to preserve at least one shield towards endgame. But then I guess shielding that would have been the better play there, right? And they're coming with their Venomoth here. And this is not a great matchup because at this point, I'm still switch locked right now. My switch timer is not back up. So, and Poison Fang is obviously going to be super effective and also lowering our defense at the same time. And those confusions are really adding up, right? So I'm going to have to shield this up. And then I'm going to try and come in with my Jellicent here. And then, yeah, I'm just going to try and come in with Jellicent as soon as possible. Unfortunately, my Slurpuff is almost down. But I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball right now. And then it does get the shield from the Venomoth. And then just really trying to get to another Shadow Ball here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get it in time. And yeah, it's probably going to be a Poison Fang here, which is resisted because of that Ghost typing. And I'm able to get to another Shadow Ball right now, which is huge. And it's going to take out the Venomoth or get their final shield. It does take it out. And Sableye comes in. And I'm really hoping I can charm down. But unfortunately, one Shadow Claw takes us out there. I mean, if I'd been able to switch out earlier, then probably one charm would have taken out the Sableye from that range. But it was very close nevertheless there. So moving on to the next battle here, we have Jellicent into a Machamp. I mean, Shadow Machamp has no play against this entire team comp. They make a switch to their Jirachi and I'm forced to stay in, right? Because Jellicent is my only response to a Jirachi. But while, you know, both the Charmers in the back can handle the Machamp, they surprisingly let that go through, which is very, very interesting play. And they have a Haunter in the back. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to try and go for the Shadow Ball as soon as possible here. And I'm just going to switch out into one of my Charmers to avoid getting farmed down. And again, Haunter is extremely dangerous for my backline because it can have access to Sludge Bomb, which is going to one-shot Aromatisse, right? But I'm going to shield this up just in case it is a Sludge Bomb. And I'm going to shield this up as well because none of Shadow Machamp's moves are going to be a real threat to Aromatisse. And I'm just going to completely charm down the Haunter. And yeah, this is GG's at this point, right? Machamp is going to come back in. And I'm going to be able to completely farm it down. And even if they got to a Rock Slide, it doesn't really matter because we still have a Slurpuff in the back. And yeah, this just... We have Jellicent into a Nidoqueen here. Very positive lead. You definitely want to catch those poison types on the lead because again, the backline would really struggle against Nidoqueen, right? And I was trying to get to an Ice Beam here, but I'm going to let this go through. Probably just going to be a Poison Fang, which is resisted because of that Ghost typing. I'm going to overfarm a little bit just in case they switch out. I'm just going to go straight for the Ice Beam right now, right? This is obviously super effective because of the ground typing on Nidoqueen and near one-shots it right there, which is huge right now. And I'm going to shield this up because, again, because of the Poison Jab debuff, I don't want to get hit by a Drill Run, but unfortunately it ends up being another Poison Jab, which is not great. Poison Fang, beg your pardon. But anyways, they actually come in with their Wigglytuff, immediately going to save switch into my Aromatisse here. And let's see what they decide to do here. They are still staying in, which is surprising. And they come in with their Noctowl. Now, this is one of those matchups where Thunderbolt really helps, right? Obviously, Thunderbolt is super effective because of that flying typing on Noctowl. But should probably get the shield from it anyways, as it does there. But we're doing so much damage from Charm, right? We've gotten it down to about 40% health right now. So I'm just going to come in with my Jellicent right now and go straight for the Ice Beam here. Now, this is either going to get their final shield or take out the Noctowl. Let's see what they decide to do here. And they let that go through once again, which is surprising. And they come in with their Wigglytuff, which is not great for Jellicent. I'm not able to get off a charge move, which is okay, right? I'm just going to be able to come in with Slurpuff and just charm it all the way down. Even if they get to a move, I can shield it, but it's not needed anyways. And we're able to charm down there. Once again, I mean, double Charmers in the back is just so deadly, especially because of that fast move damage. It doesn't really matter how many shields they have. You can just pretty much take it out in any scenario right there, right? Obviously, this team is going to struggle against Pokemon that have like a Steel type and a Poison type in the back or something like that. But overall, typically, I've observed that most people have only one response to a Charmer there. So anyways, going to switch into my Aromatisse here because obviously a Whimsicott is a pretty poor lead for a Jellicent. And we're both doing so much damage right now. And because I managed to sneak an extra Charm through, I'm going to shield this up because I know the damage went through. And I'm going to be able to win this matchup, right? And we have so much loaded energy right now. And I'm just going to go for the Thunderbolt just right away here. Unfortunately, it just ends up being an Alolan Muck. It's going to do neutral damage. It probably should have gone for Moonblast because it has Stab and probably would have done a little more damage there. But anyways, going to come in with my Slurpuff here. But unfortunately, this is a Poison Jab Alolan Muck, right? That's not great for Slurpuff. And this is too soon to be Sludge Wave, so I'm actually going to let it go through, hoping it's just Dark Pulse, but it ends up being an Acid Spray, right? So we're just taking so much damage from those Poison Jabs right now. Immediately going to switch in my Jellicent here, and they have a Charizard in the back. It's going to be extremely close. And also, this is unfortunately a Dragon Breath Charizard because we're taking quite a bit of neutral damage right now. from the Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw. I let the first one go through just in case. I don't want to give them an open path to land the Blast one here. So I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball, right? It's going to be extremely close here, right? So Shadow Ball does get the shield here. And at this point, I really have to land 2 Shadow Balls. And I'm going to have to shield this Dragon Claw because we're taking so much damage from Dragon Breath. And then, yeah, just going to try and go for the Shadow Ball as soon as possible here. But this is going to be extremely close right now, right? Yeah, I really hope. My only win condition here is if they try and throw a move, and hopefully I can come in with my Slurpuff and land a charge move, right? Unfortunately, they farm us down because my switch time is not back up yet. And they're going to go for the Dragon Claw here, even though this is double resisted, it's going to take out the Slurpuff there. So, I mean, my only win condition there would have been if, if they'd thrown a Dragon Claw on Jellicent, or if I'd been able to switch out quicker and probably get to a Flamethrower or something, then I might have had a chance. But overall, it was kind of tough there. So, I mean, I had a couple of 3-2 sets with this team. Like I said, I mean, there are certain situations where it does get exposed, like against team comps that have multiple Charmer counters. But overall, for the most part, it actually works really well, right? So, yeah, I'll try and bring out more Spice picks, in the coming week before the Remix Cup closes. So stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.